Let's go ahead and begin working on our website. So far, we have installed some plugins, we've installed a theme that we're going to be using for now, and we've created some pages and some posts. This is what my website currently looks like. The homepage is showing a collection of all of my blogs, and then all of my pages are pretty much blank for the most part. We haven't actually added any content to those pages. We do, however, have full posts which contain text, and we also had created an excerpt which is displaying on our homepage. What I want to do next is I want to fix my navigation. Obviously, this is way too many links to have in my navigation, and the order of the navigation is not very intuitive. The home button would never want to be in the middle. Contact typically is over here on the right. If we look at the sitemap, this is more in line of how I want my navigation to appear. Plus, I have drop-down menus under Design and Services. So let's talk about how we can adjust the menu and make it function in the way that we want. I'll go back to the backend part of my website, and I'm going to go to Appearance, Menus. And when you go into the menu section, you will be able to create a menu. So it lets me know, hey, you can create your first menu below. In order to do that, you're going to need to assign a menu name. I'm just going to call this main menu. It is possible that you can have multiple menus. If you're working on a larger website, you might have a sidebar menu, or maybe you have a menu in the footer or whatever. You can really create as many menus as you may need. I will click Create Menu to go about making the menu. And then over here on the right, I'm going to have the option to create the menu. What we need to do is we need to select the links that we want to be part of the menu. By default, pages are going to show up, but it is possible to include posts as part of your menu, or you can actually include custom links. So if you had a specific URL that you wanted to be part of the menu, you could do that. And you can even add categories, which if I wanted a care section on my menu or a tips section on the menu, categories might be the way to go, because that would automatically update with any posts that I might create that had the tips category assigned to them. We have a lot of flexibility when we go about building our menus. I will be sticking with my pages for right now. So I'm going to choose the items that I want to be part of the menu. I want About Us, I want Design and Services, Portfolio, Blog, Contact, Residential, Commercial, and Custom Events. Everything except for Home. I am not going to have Home be part of my menu because, as most websites work, the logo, which we don't have a logo, but the name of the company is going to serve as the logo for now, is typically a link back to the homepage. And most people understand that this is the way that websites function. You don't really need to have a dedicated home link. I'm going to add these to my menu. And as you can see, it's going to add them. And then over here on the right, I can adjust the order. So I want About Us to be first. And if we check our sitemap, then we're going to be putting Design and Services, Portfolio, Blog, and Contact. Design and Services is next. Portfolio, Blog, and Contact. And you might see when you're dragging these, sometimes they indent. That is going to create a sub item. So you can see Contact is now a sub item of Blog. That is not what I want. So I just need to drag to the left to make sure that these are all at the same level. However, I do want Residential to be a descendant of Design and Services, as well as Commercial and Custom Events. And do you see how I can indent these too? This would be like a tertiary menu item. So you need to make sure that you are dragging these in the correct location. All menus items can be renamed. So if you don't want the menu name to be the same as the page name, this is where it comes from, you can click this little arrow and open this up and change the navigation label. I am fine keeping my navigation labels the same as my page names, so I will leave this as is. And then you can see that it shows me the order. So this is 1 out of 5. I have 5 top level navigation items, and this is the first one. I could drag these, or I could numerically change this here as well. And you can assign a parent. If we look at one of these menu items down here, you can see that the parent is design and services. So we have a couple different ways that we can organize these. I find that the visual way works best, but if you have any problems with that, you can open these menu items and adjust them as necessary. Down here, we have options for the menu settings, so we can automatically add new top-level pages to the menu. That would be if I created additional pages, they would automatically be added to my menu. I am not going to check this right now. And then I can choose the display location. So this is my main menu. I want it to display as the primary menu. You could assign different locations for different menus. So for instance, if I was making a footer menu, I would assign it to the footer menu, but we are just going to leave this as primary menu. I will click Save Menu, and at this point, my main menu is created. You can see it's letting me know that the main menu has been updated. And if we go into this tab that exists now, Manage Locations, you can change any of these options. So if you decided later that you wanted this to be somewhere else, you could reassign it to a new location. You can always go into edit menus and you can edit any menus that you've made. So if you find that you need to reorganize them or maybe add a new page, it's easy to do that. I will go to the front end portion of my website and I'm simply going to click refresh. And now you're going to see that my menu looks a lot different. And if I hover over design and services, I have these subcategories. And then obviously I have the other main items. I also want to show you what this looks like on smaller screen sizes. If I go into my website and I reduce the width of my site, you can see around 920 pixels or so, my menu switches to a hamburger menu. And this is what my menu items are going to look like. Now, it is worth mentioning that my hamburger menu is not displaying the menu items in the correct location. This needs to be adjusted. So we will have to take care of this. The small screen has not taken on the attributes that we had selected. This is the original order. This is a little bit wonky, but it is how WordPress works. So I'll show you how we can make those adjustments. I'm going to go back into the backend portion of WordPress. And what we need to do here is we are going to also click our off canvas menu. So I'm going to select this. I will now save the menu one more time. And if we come back and we refresh our menu, the menu still looks the same at the large screen. But if I make my website smaller and I open the menu, you can now see that the menu is functioning in the correct manner. We have the subcategories as we had initially created, and the order of our menu items is going to be updated. So now everything is working in the correct way. We can use the menu to navigate throughout our website at either large or small screens. Do keep in mind that if you want the menu to automatically be updated at the small screen, you need to also check off canvas menu. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to update and fix the area that displays the name, and we want to put a logo up here. In order to do that, I'm going to go into my customize section, and this is how it works with this particular theme. Keep in mind that I am demonstrating currently on the Astra theme. I will show you how this works using some other themes as our course goes on, but This dialog box may look different depending on the theme that you are using. With the Astra theme, when we open up the customizer, it allows us to make certain changes to our website. What we will be looking at right now is the menu section. So I'm going to come to menu, and you can see that this is going to let me know that currently I'm using the main menu. It's set for the primary as well as off screen. We just did those things. This is another location that you can basically do the same thing. So we could create another menu right here in the customizer, choose a different location for this, and you can click this back button to go back. And it lets me know that this particular theme has menus in 5 locations. So with the primary menu, there's a secondary menu, the off canvas menu, a logged in account menu. If you have a website where users are going to be able to log in, you might want a different menu showing, and then a footer menu. We don't actually need to change any of these things. We just want to alter the way the menu looks. So we are going to go into this header builder to do that. When I click the header builder, this allows me to adjust and update the way my header looks. With this theme, I have header presets, and if I click this pencil icon, you can see that I can choose how I want my header to display. So if I choose this first one, it's going to automatically add social media icons in addition to what I had before. This one is going to add a button. So if you had some sort of call to action, you could go ahead and use this pattern. This one is going to move the order. So we have the name of the company and then the navigation, and then we have like a login and a sign up button. And this will stack the items on top of each other. I will go back to this first preset, and although I don't really want to have the social media icons, we can go ahead and alter this. I'll show you how to do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click right next to where it says Terra Diem. This is going to allow me to insert a logo. So I'm going to click select logo, and here are all of my images in my media library. I'm going to choose this SVG image that is my logo icon. I will select this. Obviously, I don't want to crop this at all, so I'm going to change the crop box to be the exact size of my image. I'll click crop image, or we could just click skip cropping. Doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm just going to skip cropping, which will just insert the entire image. And now you can see the image displays right next to the text. If you ever want to change the logo or remove the logo, you have options to do that here. It is possible for you to use different logos on different devices or different sizes. My logo's in SVG, so I know it's going to scale beautifully. I don't have to worry about that. Here's where you can control the logo width, so you can numerically decide on the size of your logo. I'm just going to make my logo be 60 pixels. I think that's a reasonable size. The site title is right here. If I wanted to change what that says, perhaps capitalize the T, I can do that. But for my company, I like it lowercase, so I'm going to leave that. And then we can choose the site title visibility on the different devices. Currently, the site title is showing on all devices, but if I uncheck large screen, you can see that the site title would disappear. I don't really know why you would want to do that, but maybe on a small screen, you might want to have the logo disappear. We're not looking at the screen at a small screen, so we wouldn't see that, but that is how it would work. Inline logo and site title, this simply just places these things next to each other. If we uncheck this, they're going to stack on top. I want mine placed next to each other. This is the tagline that we had added with our site. Currently, I'm not using the tagline. I don't need it to be here, so that's fine. If I did want the tagline to show, I could add this in to my site tagline visibility, but I don't want that to actually show. And then visibility is going to just control this whole logo and name of your company site title area. So for whatever reason, you may want to turn that on or off, but we don't really need to do anything in this case. Down here, we have controls to be able to view this at medium and small screen sizes. My website works fine I don't have any problems with the name of the company being too wide or needing to potentially turn that off at a small screen. So I will leave everything as is, but it's good to check this out just to make sure that everything is organized the way that you want it to be. Under the design tab, you can change certain things about your logo. Because I'm using an SVG, it is possible for me to easily alter the color of my logo. And you can see here, I chose red. My logo was created as a transparent image, so there's no problem in changing the color. But if you did upload an image that was not transparent, then the whole thing would just become a red square, which you might not want to do. I'm going to clear that because my logo is the color that I want. You can also choose to change the title color. So if that's something that you wanted to do, you can alter that here. And we have the option for normal and hover. Remember, this is a link, so that might be something you might want to do. We perhaps could change this to a different color on hover. You would pick the color and that would become the color. Once again, I'm just going to clear this, but I did want to show that to you. You can also control the color of your tagline. And then this is where you can control the size of the title of your website. So I'm going to leave mine at about 25. And margin is just going to adjust spacing around these elements, but I think this is fine. At this point, I like how this part is looking. I just want to get rid of the social media icons. So if I hover over this area and I click this little pencil right here, this is going to bring up my social media icons. This is where I could control these particular elements. I'm not really sure why this theme doesn't allow you to just get rid of this in the initial header builder. It's kind of weird that when you go into header presets, there is no option to not include those things. So what I am going to do is I'm going to click this little pencil icon and I'm just going to turn the visibility off at all of these screen sizes so it just isn't going to display. If I never clicked on that initial header presets, I wouldn't be stuck with those and I wouldn't have to go in and turn them off, but I did want to show you how that works. So I am good with my header. I'm going to click publish. And at this point, if we go back to the front end portion of our website and we click refresh, you're going to see that all of the changes that we just specified are going to inherit into our website. Now we have our menu, we have our logo. Obviously, if we click any of our links, we can go ahead and click either the logo icon or the text to return back to the home page. And our menu is responsive. We get a little hamburger menu right here, and we are assured that all of our menu items are displaying in the way that we want. Obviously, having a functional menu and displaying the menu in the exact way that you want is super important. The menu allows your users to interact with your website, and now you know how to do this.